Hi, my name is Jenny.
Hello, my name's Eury.
And welcome again to the Conscious Cuppa podcast season 4, where we're exploring the divine feminine.
If you've never heard of the term divine feminine, you're not alone. Curious about what she has to do with creating your reality, realising your dreams, and being and having what you do want? Then stay tuned to find out more.
Eury, what if I need something done by tomorrow?
She makes arrangements and rearrangements in the blink of an eye.
What if I just can't see how things can possibly work out?
Her infinite intelligence outmatches any obstacle and perfectly outpictures your fulfilled desire.
Do I have to be good to get her help?
She completely overlooks your flaws and failures to help you fulfill your needs.
Is there anything she can't produce?
There's only one way to find out. Test her and see what she weaves from what you provide.
But really, who is she?
Here is a taste of what our fabulous guests had to say about what the divine feminine means to them.
Just being protected.
An oral history of women's relationship to spirit.
Energy giving.
It makes me think of something special. I don't know what special, but it sounds and feels special.
Yin and yang.
Ever present, yeah. Being together.
Is always there. Also, maybe at times is just out of grasp.
Or caregiver.
It's love, and we know that love is unconditional.
This pulse of life.
I could see my mum.
The energy that we give off.
Female aspect, inner aspect of myself.
Madonna, the pop star.
We made this podcast to pick up this overlooked, underappreciated, infinitely intelligent divine mind who resides in all of us. So, grab a brew, take a pew, and let's give the divine feminine her due.
What have we got to sip and slurp this episode?
Sipping and slurping, something that I have every morning actually, which you have requested, which is chili coffee.
Yeah.
And it's chili as in spicy. So I
Not cold.
Not cold. No, it's not iced coffee, although maybe that's an idea as the summer knocks at our door. It's got red chili flakes.
Ooh.
And some mixed spice. And you don't have cow's milk, you have oat milk, so I've warmed up some oat milk in there.
It smells really fruity actually.
Yeah?
It's really delicious. I think it's the type of coffee you've used. It's delicious.
I always use Italian number 4.
Oh, very nice. Really creamy, really rich.
Yeah.
Really delicious and not too chilly. I'm not choking, so that's good.
And I usually have tin milk in mine, which is also very creamy, and a sugar. When I don't put enough sugar in it or not enough tin milk, and I come and sit at the window, it just doesn't have the right combination for the ritual of my morning.
It doesn't have that je ne sais quoi.
It's like there is a taste that goes with my morning.
Yeah.
And the coffee, the sugar, and the amount of tin milk has to be just right.
What's in your cup, your flask, your glass? Send in your suggestions and your mug shots and any questions you've got.
You can send in your questions and suggestions to consciouscuppa@gmail.com. That's ConsciousCuppa@gmail.com.
You're listening to Jenny and Eury on Conscious Cuppa.
We asked 30 people to pick from 13 lollipop sticks and gave them 5 minutes to talk about the subject written on the lollipop sticks. This episode, Jenny will be discussing feeling at home and accommodating. And you'll hear from this week's guests, who are Alison, Chupa, Jonah, Ged and Balarama. Midway through the interviews, we'll be sharing a golden nugget from Neville Goddard's book, Feeling is the Secret.
Accommodating.
Accommodating. What's on the other side?
It's a very resonant word for me. Feeling at home. How topical is that? How topical is that?
Let's get 5 minutes on the clock. You're okay with this stick, I take it?
Yeah, I love it.
Okay.
Yeah, I love it. Yeah, so we'll start with accommodating. Now, someone used to say to me that I was doing too much accommodating. Was it me? Did I say it to me? Interestingly, if I think, as have been talking about, I've been talking about the divine feminine, in my mind, at the moment, Mother Nature, Mummy, who gives us everything. She's been so accommodating, just so accommodating of humanity recently, as in, last millennia maybe. She's been so accommodating, and she's absolutely started to have had enough, I think. Yeah, but she is incredibly accommodating. This, when I picked this, and I noted it saying accommodating, I know that I've done far too much accommodating in my time. Almost like as a gesture of faith. You might be expressing something or following a divine path if you try to accept what is there, whatever difficulty is there. But I think in my case, I actually interpreted it as accommodating, but not putting any boundaries in place. It's just like, yeah, all right, I'll take it, I'll suck it up. All right, some more, okay, fine, let's go. I can do it. A sort of fantasy of strength, I think, is partly involved in that. And I wish I could remember. I can hear the voice of the person saying accommodating. I wish I could remember who it was. Maybe it was you. I can't remember who it was who'd said that. Yeah, so I see that being accommodating and giving room and space is a wonderful offer. And God, does the divine feminine do that in almost endless capacity. But we have to be careful as women, as people, to remember that we can't absorb it all. We can't. And actually, Mummy is telling us right now, Mother Nature, the divine feminine, is telling us right now that she can't. She can't do it. She can't continually absorb our shit. She just can't do it. And she's telling us that. And that's a great, great word. There's a lovely capaciousness to it, isn't there, accommodating? And if you have circumstances that can accommodate you, you are truly blessed. You truly are. I've turned this over. Feeling at home. Feeling at home. Isn't that funny? We're always at home. We are at home. Where else could we be? We're always at home. This is our home. This is where we are. But we don't always feel our home, our hominess. We don't always feel that. So what happens if we're feeling at home? That wonderful sense of relaxation and being accepted and able to operate well and offer. I remember there was a time when things were quite tough for me and my children, and I can remember a friend of mine, actually you, saying, just imagine that one day you'll be coming home and the kids will be waiting for you and the lights will be on and everything will be fine. And I can remember turning the corner of where I used to live at Meadowhill Road, and they were there and it was fine and everything had resolved. And that was very much that I could both provide a home and I could feel at home in those moments. And I still much more of the time now, I have the capacity to recognise that I am always at home. But there are times when that's harder, when maybe I forget. I was thinking the other day, when I'm 70 or maybe 80, I'd quite like to have a secure living arrangement. Like, to know that I don't have to worry about paying the rent or worry about the tenancy ending or where am I going to go now. I thought, maybe when I'm 80 I'll have that. And that sense of security is so important, to being able on the daily to feel at home. It's really important. Although technically we are always there. You were saying when you came in, Eury, about how you enjoy the environment here. This is my house, or my home. And there is something about how how I like to distribute things and collect things and arrange things in order to feel at home, which is really important. It's really lovely. I'm not sure. I'm trying to think about how much our external world is the key to feeling at home. Maybe it's a mixture of our internal world and also if we have the freedom and we've got the right, if I can put it that way, we're not constrained from expressing that inner feeling of at-homeness into our external world. Oh, it's really hard when you can't do that. Really, really hard when you can't do that. Okay, that will do on that one.
Thank you. So, Chupa, you've got a second lollipop stick, which is...
feeling at home on one side and accommodating on the other.
And we've got 5 minutes on the clock, and please tell us what that means for you.
So accommodating is welcoming, making comfortable, tolerating, creating a space, holding a space. Yeah, that's what accommodating means to me. Kind of on one side there's the tolerance, and then at the other end there's the welcoming and making comfortable.
Yeah.
And then for me, feeling at home is so much bigger than accommodating, because accommodating is part of it. So a home is created and you accommodate someone, but that person then feels at home in that space. So it's part of the puzzle of feeling at home. But feeling at home is so many different things. It's an emotion. It's an emotion that is inside of you as well as something that you experience. So for me, home can be a physical space, but it can also be in my space, in my own space.
Sure.
And feeling at home is a sense of comfort. It's a sense of security. It's a sense of warmth, acceptance, validation, everything positive that you can think of about feeling a deep sense of belonging is what feeling at home means to me. And comfort, yeah. When I think of feeling at home, I think of my mother, because my mother was the first person who created a home for me. And she also was my home.
Yeah.
At that age. And then as I grew up, I became my home. And the older I become, and now where I am now, my baby is my home. Yeah. So they're big homes and small homes, if that makes sense.
Yes.
Right?
Sure.
Being amongst my friends is home. Not necessarily in my home, but being amongst people, being with people, and engaging with people in a particular way is a sense of being at home for me as well. It goes back to comfort, isn't it? For me, it comes back to feeling a sense of comfort. And it's all the things that I associate with comfort. It's warmth, it's love, it's security, it's acceptance, it's validation, it's all of those. And so whether it's a place that makes you feel like that or people that make you feel like that, they are home for me. It's not four walls under a roof or whatever they call it. It's a feeling, I guess is what I'm saying. It's a feeling more so than a place.
Yeah.
Or it's a place where I can take myself, physically or emotionally.
Yeah.
Spiritually as well. Yeah. Accommodating just makes me think, accommodating makes me have a physical reaction, because it makes me think about the word tolerance, which I absolutely dislike. Because it's always talked about in relation to race, and I've never understood how anyone could think being tolerant of a particular people is anything positive. It's almost as if you're tolerating a pest.
Yeah.
And I always have an issue with that. So when we talk about accommodate, it speaks to me of tolerance, and I don't like that. And so it makes me feel, whereas when you ask me about feeling at home, that just has a very difficult physical emotion to me. It just makes me feel all warm and fuzzy.
Thank you.
It's time for a Neville Nugget.
Neville Nugget, which one would you like?
I will have number 1, please.
Feeling is the one and only medium through which ideas are conveyed to the subconscious mind. Therefore, the person who does not control their feelings may easily impress the subconscious with undesirable states.
Ooh, I like that.
Yes. And this is definitely to do, we've got a theme rolling here, haven't we?
Sort yourself out.
Yeah, wagging feeling. On with the podcast.
On with the podcast.
The popsicle stick subject that I picked up says feeling at home. My 2 cents on the matter is, I wonder how correlated feeling at home is to physical space, because I don't feel at home when I'm in my house, my childhood home, but I do when I'm around my parents, my friends and stuff like that. I think it's only places that I've been in very little, or like I've assigned a lot of prominence to, like within my personal history, that I feel like I can think of my grandma has a room that we call the library because there's a bunch of books in it, but it's actually where my uncle used to sleep, I think, that I feel quite at home in. It's like huge, there's a lot of light in it and a lot of books. It's like it's just a room. I haven't spent a lot of time in there, or I did when I was very little, but like I would say I feel closer to feeling home there than I do in my own room. Maybe because I have less agency over how it's configured. Like, in order to like make a room mine, I would have to like affect it or change it somehow, make it representative of myself, which is actually quite an alienating process, I think. Especially because the self is, a really transient thing. So when I'm in there, I'm looking at like, it'll feel dated, or it'll remind me of like being the last time I spent like a huge amount of time in my room, I was like at my worst in early adolescence. So that's sort of what it represents, versus there are like certain street corners or, spots that I have no say over how they look or feel, that are way more welcoming. I don't know, but that's not like a hot take or anything. I think it's just the way that things are. It's like, in general, when I don't have a lot of say over how something is made up, then I feel more comfortable with it. And at the same time, like in my own art, if I am unable to synthesize my intentions in the way that I would like to, then I, like my room, I just feel uncomfortable and upset. I like in art, I feel like I need as little agency as possible, and also as much. It's like finding like a balance between having no agency and still having your finger on the pulse of what is happening. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, feeling at home. I think about home like so much, like all of the time, like every day. Yeah, like I think maybe over the past like few years, like been trying really hard to feel at home in myself, my own body, and like have roots, like have roots in that, and also in connections with other people, because it's really hard to have a stable home in London. And so how can I feel rooted when I'm like literally being uprooted quite often? And yeah, I don't know, there's something about home about like I'm never quite sure if I am where I'm supposed to be. Always have a bit of a like, what am I doing here? Should I be somewhere else? Where is this other place? And yeah, it's quite like a torment to me.
That's not really dramatic, but like these thoughts do like torment me, and I'm often like, just try and be in the present, in your home now, and that's can be your body, which you have right now in this moment. All that said, I do feel very at home since I've moved here. Yeah, I remember like after coming for the second interview to live here, cycling back to my other home, my old home, on my bike, and being like feeling like really, really good, and being like, oh, even if like I don't get the room, like that was a really nice like moment, and felt a little bit like I felt like I was on the right path. Like if it's not this house, there will be another house or another home. And I felt like really at peace with that. But then I did get the call. Yeah. Accommodating. First made me think about like accommodating other people, but not in a like actually accommodating them in a physical way, but in a kind of accommodating to people's needs or wants. Yeah, I guess from that perspective I think I have a bit of sometimes can be over accommodating, and I'm learning how to pull back a little bit. And it's just really tricky, isn't it? Because you want to be accommodating to people, and you want to make people feel welcome, and you want to make sure everyone's okay. But if you're not doing that, if you're kind of doing that on an empty tank or something, it can not go well. But I guess in the physical way of accommodating people, I often think like there's many times in my life where I'm just like, oh, I wish where I lived had a spare room, because there's like so many people that would like benefit from that sometimes. Yeah, but space is limited.
Accommodating, feeling at home.
Okay.
Well, listen, I'll take it as one.
Let me start the clock. You ready? You got 5 minutes.
I hate being limited by time. Yeah, the supreme femininity remember, we're speaking from the Krishna conscious point of view and experiences within that. So for us, actually, the supreme feminine is the highest aspect of our spiritual understanding, the highest aspect of our spiritual practice, because it's actually by the personal presence and the personal example of the supreme feminine that we learn and realize and serve devotion. And devotion actually comes, believe it or not, if you've heard or seen anything of the Hare Krishnas, we have actually Radha Krishna. And Krishna, everybody knows already, is the supreme God, supreme Lord in his male form. And then Radha, which most people don't hear of, but it's Radha Krishna. Radha's name is said first. Funny enough. Not funny enough, but factually enough, because it's actually through Radha, through the female form of God, that we get to Krishna. And without getting Radharani's blessings or Radharani's mercy, you cannot attain Krishna. So the female form of God, as far as the topic of feeling at home, represents service. Service attitude, pleasing service, and that is fundamental to us in the Hare Krishna movement, because it's the very principle actually by which we kind of live. You know, most people think, oh, I need to breathe air to survive. So in the Hare Krishna movement, not quite as clear as that and kind of really fundamental, but almost as equally as breathing, is to serve somebody. So Srimati Radharani, in her full name, Radha is a short name, Srimati Radharani is for us the greatest example, the emblem of devotion. And it's actually through worshipping her, knowing her, studying her, we follow in her footsteps to actually serve and please Krishna. So one of the main things we do to make ourselves feel at home and help others feel at home, which is kind of what we're trying to do all the time, is to serve. And that service attitude is ultimately to make people feel at home. So what does that actually mean, make somebody feel at home? So most people will relate to feeling at home as sitting on your sofa and watching some TV. And I feel at home now, I feel comfortable. But for us, it's a completely different dynamic. I know that I'm inside this material world, a very uncomfortable, a very artificial, a very limited and a very temporary place. And I do not feel at home. It's exactly like you'll say, I feel like a fish out of water. Mm-hmm. And by the example, the practice and the information and the philosophy surrounding Srimati Radharani and engaging in her way of life, which is service and service to the Supreme Lord, we start to feel our inner self, and that inner self is where we really start to feel at home. So we kind of disconnect ourselves from the material plane and the temporariness of serving things that are false, that are artificial, by serving the eternal, the supreme. And in that relationship of the servant serving the beloved, as Radharani ultimately is, we start to awaken our own spiritual identity, our own spiritual self. And once we start to feel that more and more, the more and more we feel at home. We feel comfortable, we feel relevant, we feel connected. And that's really what I've experienced in my Krishna conscious life since 1994, when I first read my first Hare Krishna book. As I practice serving and service, I feel more and more myself, more and more at home, and not in a physical sense of at home, but I feel reconnected to my spiritual home. And funny enough, our main title of Prabhupada's books is Back Home. Going back home.
You're listening to Conscious Cuppa.
So Jenny, you're going to discuss feeling at home and accommodating.
Yeah, let's put 10 minutes on the clock. And yeah, we had 5 of our guests talking about feeling at home and accommodating. And my first reaction is to the last speaker, which is Balarama, who we recorded in Turkey.
Yeah.
With all those lovely background sounds.
Yeah,
wasn't that?
Exactly.
He did have a lovely home, and he did invite us in, and he did make us feel welcome. And God, up in the mountains, drove us around, introduced us to so much. I did feel at home. It was really hot though. Mid-July is not the time to be going to Turkey, I have to say.
Unless you love that kind of heat.
Ooh. Anyway, some of what he was saying was, I kind of got with the negative experiences one has in the world, in the society, I should say, which is a kind of shadow version of community, kind of makes you have to return home because it becomes so uncomfortable, so unbearable. I know that when I was growing up, I didn't feel comfortable at home. I didn't feel comfortable in my body. And there's reasons for that. I was often hit, and so I didn't like my body because it was this kind of
source of pain. Yeah.
Source of pain, receptacle of pain.
Yeah.
And so I didn't feel at home because I was expecting to be hit at any time, whenever I was at home. It did make me question my reality, what is going on for me. And it did push me to find out, okay, how can I feel comfortable in my body? And it's brought me onto this journey of eventually where we are, season 4 of discovering the divine feminine and how she's created home for me. So whatever I'm feeling and thinking provides her with the pattern, the construct for her to then weave a world for me. I like what Chupa says, that your mother is your first home.
Yeah.
You create a body. The body is your home, your physical home.
Mm.
Your family is like a home to you, whether it's an uncomfortable home or a welcome home. Your house, your physical house is a home.
Yes.
Your town is a home. The world is a home.
Mother Nature is a home.
Alison was talking about, yes, like Mother Nature, gosh, she puts up with a lot of this bad behaviour in the home that we're using the language of climate change now to talk about how difficult it is for her. But I was also talking with a housemate yesterday about how the nature of human beings seems to be able to accommodate really uncomfortable situations, really unlovely situations. It's almost like the human being is designed to be able to, even if it's detrimental, to be able to cope with discomfort to extreme levels. You've seen some people who maybe who have health problems. I have health problems that I have tolerated. This home that we are trying to build, trying to furnish, eventually you realise it's your mind that is the main home. The friends that you have are people that you keep in mind.
Mm.
And as my mind, sometimes I have these thoughts that are really unhelpful. They're like furnishings in my mind. You know, I come
furnishings in your house.
Yeah. I wake up and the first thing I start doing is complaining about this is in the wrong place and that is in the wrong place and I have to do this and da 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 da. And it's all in my mind, really.
Yeah.
And then I'm starting to realise how the divine feminine is responding to these thoughts, thoughts I have furnished my home with.
Would you say that's centred around a self-concept then? It's kind of this concept of our home and what we're expecting it to be like, but also ourselves in that home. Like when you were saying as a child, there was that expectation that it was going to be painful, that your body was a source of pain.
And we should maybe distinguish between the subconscious mind who is on repeat and the divine feminine who provides change, who weaves change, because you start thinking differently.
Yes.
If I'm not thinking differently and feeling differently, then I'm going to repeat the same things over and over again. So I can move home physically, but the same problems are going to come up. And maybe I've, got rid of a lot of baggage as I move home, but there's still some things I've got with me that are still relatively contraband, and they're going to cause problems. I have to recognise that it's my thoughts and feelings that are creating my world.
Mm.
And so I have to start adjusting my thoughts and my feelings to produce that home that I feel comfortable in, that I can invite people to, but has the boundaries as well, so that not just anybody can come in. I decide how I furnish my room, how I feel comfortable, and I will know what that comfort feels like.
So this sounds like, going back to what you were saying about thoughts, this sounds like, in a sense, you're learning to gatekeep your thoughts. Like Neville Goddard says, when to interrupt the old conversation. Oh, actually, I don't want to reproduce that, that moan that you wake up with, that critical, actually, that's not helpful. So what is it I want to furnish my home with? What am I being offered, in fact? What are these gifts?
Yes, I guess it gets so uncomfortable in the house. It got so uncomfortable in the house that I was brought up in, and that I'm going to go to the mind, the thoughts and feelings I was used to experiencing. I'm going to have to move home, and I have to design a home. I'm going to have to build a home. I'm going to have to think about who I want to invite into that home. We both saw Sinners recently, right?
Yeah.
The movie Sinners. You have to be careful about who you invite in. This isn't just about the people you invite in, but the thoughts and feelings that you invite in. But I think
the people reflect the thoughts and feelings.
You're absolutely right. They reflect it. But also what the vampires in that film represented is those thoughts that are unwelcome.
Yeah.
The thoughts that are
sucking your energy, your life force.
Sucking your energy, your doubts, your negative self-talk.
Yes.
They're the ones that are, you do invite in, you have to invite them in, but you might not necessarily realise that that's what you're doing. And that's what I haven't realised what I was doing. I didn't understand the power of my thoughts. I didn't understand the power of my feelings.
The way I see it is the helpful thoughts are the sage thoughts, are the divine, feminine, uplifted thoughts, and the unhelpful thoughts, the shadow thoughts, are much more the sabotaging thoughts that uproot what you do want or perpetuate what isn't helpful.
Well, let's go back to the initial thought, let's say, that's coming at 0, where I'm getting the gift of the thought.
Yeah.
And I've entertained the thought. I have said, I like this thought. Well, when we get to this stage with the home and accommodating, I guess what's important at this stage is realising that, can I accommodate this new thought, this thought that's going to bring change?
Yeah.
And if I can't, which of course this season is exploring that the home that I've got can't accommodate it, I'm going to have to go on a journey, I'm going to have to go on a quest, which you're going to be talking about next episode. What I'm discovering at this stage of inviting this thought in, let's say, is that I can't accommodate it with the house that I've got now.
Yeah.
Things have to change.
Yeah.
I do want that warm and fuzzy feeling that Chupa was talking about. I do want to feel present and at peace in my home. But in order for that to be true, I'm going to have to release some of my old feelings and thoughts about myself, about the world, and about my place in it.
Definitely.
So I got this overall feeling from our guests that it's important to help people feel at home. That is the accommodating bit. And it's not about the four walls so much as about the people and the environment. And although accommodating can feel like tolerating a pest, that negative external situations can lead to the discovery of your inner self.
And your desire, actually, your need for relief.
Yes.
Yeah.
Let's have our words of wisdom. You've got an acronym
for us. Well, we've got an acronym because we came up with this together.
Okay,
this is a joint.
Come on, you introduce it.
Okay, so we've got an acronym and it's spaced. S being for service, P for being for peace, A for accepted, C for comfort, E for emotion, and D for devotion.
D for devotion.
But devotion to what you do want, what is helpful, what is loving, and accommodating that.
Yes. And the takeaway I have from it, mother is our first home. People more than places feel like home. Make room, create space for welcome relaxation and a deep sense of belonging. Be in service to others. Welcome them in, but put boundaries in place.
Yeah, love it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And that's it for this episode. Next episode, you're going to be talking about curiosity and hopefulness.
Yeah.
Thank you for getting this far. If you've been on all 4 episodes, thank you. You are part of the Brew crew. And we need you to send in your mugshots to our email.
You can send in your questions and suggestions to consciouscuppa@gmail.com. That's ConsciousCuppa@gmail.com.
And big shouts out to our little soundbites.
Yes.
This has been a swell sip,
a brilliant brew,
and a terrific tipple. Stay tuned to the end for our Easter egg section. See you next time.
See you next time. it is time for our Easter egg and Women of the Bible. I'm picking the yellow one to go for the sunshine of today. Our Woman of the Bible is called Naomi, and her name means my pleasantness, from the book of Ruth. Has many ups and downs, but doesn't remain bitter.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, I like that because it pertains to what we were talking about. The gifts, being open, being joyous to what we do want, accommodating.
Willing to change, don't just accept.
Yes.
The status, what's been established.
And forgive. Don't remain bitter for what you don't want.
Yeah.
Thank you, Naomi.
Bye.
Bye.